Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Carson Zanoria, and this is my partner, Jastej Singh, and we're students at Evergreen Valley High School. Today, we're presenting our final report for the Acterra Evergreen Valley Air Quality Project. It's a community service, community science program funded by the California Air Resources Board.
For this project, we chose to analyze air quality at Calero High School in South San Jose. It's a small alternative school with about 180 students, with 97% of the students being a minority and 62% being economically disadvantaged. This makes it a meaningful site to study from and an environmental justice standpoint.
Our research questions were pretty simple. We asked, what does the air quality actually look like around Calero? What's causing pollution? And what can the school and community do to protect the people there? The sensors we used were Clarity Node S sensors. They're solar powered and about the size of a lunchbox with no Wi-Fi or outlet needed.
Calero is located at 420 Calero Avenue in the Blossom Hill neighborhood. Major pollution sources nearby include Almaden Expressway, about zero point 0.4 miles away, the US 101, and SR 85 freeway system within 1 to 2 miles. A large shopping center parking lot and neighborhoods that burn wood in the winter are also present. The surrounding Santa Clara Valley Mountains also trap pollutants during the temperature inversions. The main pollutant we tracked is PM 2.5, fine particles smaller than 2.5 micrometers, which is about 1/30th the width of a human hair. They come from car exhaust, wood burning, and wildfires. Because they're so tiny, they bypass your nose and go straight into your lungs and bloodstream. Long-term exposure is linked to asthma, heart disease, stroke, and early death. Kids are especially at risk.
Make the numbers easier to understand, everything basically gets converted to the air quality index or the AQI. 0 to 50 is good, 51 to 100 is moderate, and above 100 starts getting into the unhealthy territory. The EPA's daily PM 2.5 limit is about 35 micrograms per cubic meter, and the annual standard is 12, which was actually tightened to 9 in 2024. Every single one of our 89 days at Calero was either good or moderate, and never above that, which is fantastic. Here's what the data showed. Over 89 days from December 4th, 2025 through March 2nd, 2026, the average PM 2.5 was 5.36 micrograms per cubic meter. That's well below the EPA annual limit of 12. And the highest single day was 16.63 on February 12th, while the lowest was 1.94 in early January. The average AQI was just 28.6, which is solidly in the good range.
As you can see at the bottom, 84% of the days were good and 16% were moderate. We never hit unhealthy at any point.
This chart shows every single day across the monitoring period. You can see the December cluster of high readings on the left, and then a sharp dip late in late December, and then things they stay pretty stable through January and February until that one dramatic spike on February 12th on the far right.
The dash red line is the EPA annual standard at 12 micrograms. Most days were well below it, and the 3 days that cross it, December 6th, February 12th, and March 1st, are the ones worth noting and understanding.
These bar charts corroborate what we see in the trends. December was the worst month with an average of 6.31, but things improved each month after that, with January at 5.23 and February at 4.41. March looks cleanest, but we only really tracked 2 days of data, so take that with a grain of salt.
And the pie chart on the right shows the overall AQI breakdown, 84% in the good category and 16% in the moderate. No unhealthy days were shown in the entire monitoring period.
So December 6th was the December peak at 12.67. That was caused by a temperature inversion, basically a layer of warm air trapping cold air near the ground, like a lid on a pot. Pollution from wood burning and traffic had nowhere to go, it couldn't escape.
Then from December 20th through the 27th, we had 8 straight days of really clean air. And likely rain or strong winds were clearing everything out. January 3rd through the 6th were our absolute lowest readings, basically the sensor detection floor.
February 12th is the big one, 16.63, our highest ever. 2 days before it, we were at 2.04, and 2 days later, we were back down to 3.35. That 1 day jump is not a weather pattern. And then March 1st spiked again at 12.21 to close out the dataset.
The bottom line is three main patterns. Winter was the worst, air quality improved month over month, and the baseline at Calero is actually really clean, often under 3 micrograms per cubic meter.
The December spikes come down to a temperature inversion. KQED reported on December 11th, 2025, right in the middle of our monitoring window, that the Bay Area was stuck under an unusually stagnant air mass for weeks. And the BAAQMD says residential wood burning accounts for over a third of all fine particle pollution in the Bay Area during cold, calm weather. That lines up directly with what we saw.
On the traffic side, the Almaden Expressway is less than half a mile from Calero and contributes PM 2.5, nitrogen oxides, and breakwater particles every single day. Research published in transportation research has shown that minority and low-income communities in California are disproportionately more likely to live near roads like this.
As for February 12th, the days right around it were completely clean, so it's definitely not a regional weather event. Most likely it was something local that day, like a structure fire or like heavy idling from vehicles or a burning event close to campus.
Short-term PM 2.5 exposure causes asthma and breathing difficulties. Long-term, it raises the risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, lung cancer, and early death. Kids are most at risk because their lungs are still developing. In comparable Bay Area communities, childhood asthma rates are roughly twice the national average.
That brings up the environmental justice piece. 97% of Calera students are minorities and 62% are economically disadvantaged, the groups most exposed to pollution from nearby roads and least equipped to deal with the health costs. Even though most days were good, Calero sits in a valley that regularly fails national PM 2.5 standards, and that context really matters.
There's also an ecosystem angle. The Coyote Creek watershed runs through the South San Jose, and the vegetation there filters PM 2.5, absorbs CO2, and reduces the urban heat island effect. Expanding native plants on and around campus would drastically improve air quality, lower temperatures, and support local wildlife. And it's just something that students could lead and initiate.
For individuals, you can check the spare air alerts before going outside and use a HEPA purifier on moderate days. At the school level, we can post real-time AQI on campus, reschedule outdoor PE when air is moderate or worse, and our top recommendation is to really enforce a no idling policy at the drop-off zone. It's free, it's immediate, and most importantly, it cuts emissions right where students are standing every single morning.
And at the community level, you can raise awareness about spare the air burn bans in winter and organize native tree planting near campus. At the policy level, push for electric school buses in the East Side Union and advocate for year-round air monitoring near schools. And for the ecosystem, protect Coyote Creek corridors and plant native species on campus especially.
Students can really lead a lot of this directly. As high school students, an air quality club at Calero could run morning AQI announcements, coordinate the no idling campaign at drop off, and plant native species in unused campus spaces, and connect with Acterra and the Santa Clara Valley Water District for mentorship and grant funding.
Taking this on isn't just good for the environment, but for a school where 97% of students are minorities and 62% are economically disadvantaged, taking action on air quality is an act of environmental justice.
All of our sources are listed right here with BAAQMD, KQED, the EPA, and IQ Air, and published research on nearby roadway pollution. We'll leave this up if you want to take a look. So to wrap up, Calero's air is mostly clean, but it has real vulnerabilities, especially during winter and those isolated spiked days. The community around this school deserves clean air every single day.
Lastly, we really want to thank Acterra for running this project and making the data available to us. It was really eye-opening, and we did a lot of research and we learned a lot during this project.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great rest of your day.